Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. We're going to go all the way back to Genesis 1:1, and we're going to talk about true light. True light is God. In God there is no darkness. Now God created the heavens and the earth was here, and the Bible said for us, for you and I, in Genesis 1:1, the recording for you and I to understand and to know is that this earth was dark and void, and that darkness brought forth a void. If you put this earth today into total darkness from now on, it would be a ball of frost. It would just be a ball of frost. Total darkness brings forth total degradation in the sense of the word. And nothing's going to grow in it, and it's going to be a frost, a freezing cold planet. But God took this planet after when He decided He was going to redecorate it. You say, what do you mean? I'm saying this planet could be millions of years old. We're not going to refute that part of what people have discovered. But we do know this, that 7,000 years ago, roughly, God decided to take this earth and reuse it, redecorate it, and to do something with it. Now, what we're going to be talking about in this excerpt is light. Light. Pure light. God is pure light. Let's see what happened. It said in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and He did. And then there was a great flood called Lucifer's flood, which came across this earth, and Lucifer brought darkness upon this earth, and this earth was dark and void and without form, and it was just here, and Lucifer was here too on it. And then God said, and the earth was without form and void, verse 2, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And this earth was covered by waters, probably frozen waters, but there were waters on this earth. And then God said, let there be light, and there was light. What caused that light? What caused that light is God came to the earth personally Himself and stood on the earth, and when He came, the darkness had to flee, and there was light. And that light was the light that lighteth every man. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. Now, as the earth rotates, there is light and darkness. God put this earth on an axis that rotates every 24 hours, so that every 12 hours you're getting a light and heat to sustain the earth. And then you have darkness for 12 hours, and then light for 12 hours, and then darkness for 12 hours. And it's an equal axiom that happens around. Only a God could create such a thing. And that a God is the God, the only true and living God. He is the only God that could do anything, really, be honest with you, with this earth that caused it to be what it is today, and the way it works and everything. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and He divided the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament in the midst, and He divided the waters from the waters under the firmament, from the waters above the firmament. So there's waters above heaven. And for some 1,650 years, that water was a canopy over this earth, and the sun shined on that canopy, and this earth was like a solarium. And you say, well, Brother Peter, you're getting away from what you wanted to talk about. I am, but I'm going to run this trail for a second. That's the reason we had dinosaurs. The dinosaurs were the giant lawnmowers for God. He put those dinosaurs down here to eat the vegetation up, so that the vegetation wouldn't just encompass the earth and take it over. But after the flood, He was going to do something different. He was going to make it rain, and going to take the solarium effect away from the earth And the earth was going to have, like it is to you and I today, the open atmosphere. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And one of the reasons I'm going so far is I want to show you something. And God said, let the waters under heavens be gathered together. And he made the places, he made dry land to appear, and it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and he gathered together the waters, and he called them seas. And God saw it was good. Now I can just see God mashing the earth with his big hands and just pressing it down, making a place, indent for the sea, the Atlantic Ocean, or whatever, a Pacific Ocean, with his thumb and his little fingers, making lakes and things in mountains, squeezing up between his fingers. And this is the God that we serve. This is the God that created this heaven and this earth, that made it, that spoke it into existence. Verse 11. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, and herb yielding seed, and all the things after it. And then the earth brought forth grass and all those things. And God said, now, verse 14, I want to come to that. Let's look at verse 14. This is a dividing line for today. This is the one we want to come to. And God said, let there be two lights in the firmament of heaven, to divide the day from the night. And let them be for the signs and the seasons, for the days and the years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven, to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights. And the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. Look, God made all these things. Before he made the two lights, there was light on the earth. What was that light? That was the light of God himself. He came down himself onto this earth. Now, in the future, after the rapture, the catching away of the saints, and after everything happens, and after this earth is, well, even before, during the millennial reign, God himself is going to be light. Yet during the millennial reign, we're going to have the sun, the moon, and days and seasons and whatever. But in that new city, Jerusalem, there will be no need for sun and moon. There will be, Jesus will be in. And then after this earth, this particular earth right here, is cast into the lake of fire, there is going to be a new heaven and a new earth made. And God is going to be himself the light, and there will be no night there. There will be no darkness. Why will there be no darkness? Because in God there is no darkness. He is the ultimate illuminary. He is the illumination of this world when you come down to the spiritual side of this world. And the physical side when the devil is done away with and there is nothing left but God. When you have nothing but God, you have nothing but light. Nothing but God means nothing but light. No darkness. In him there is no shadow. You have to have darkness to have a shadow. Shadow is darkness. And in God there is no shadow. There is no darkness. And you and I, when we get to the new heaven and the new earth, there will be no shadow. We'll be people without a shadow. There's no darkness, so there's no shadow. And if there's no darkness and we have become light too, in our new form, we can do as Jesus did. Light, he could pass through anything. He passed through the wall in the upper room. He appeared in the upper room. He appeared. He could do that. He could go to heaven and come back. He went to heaven to the Father and came back. And he carried his blood up there, him own personal self, carried the blood that had poured, ran through his body and pumped 33 years through his body. There's some statistics about that. How many gallons of blood Jesus pumped through his body in the 33 years he walked on this earth? How much, what his body did for those 33 years as your body and my body does. And now he's in a body that's living but without the blood. The flesh, the blood was the life of the flesh, given to the man's body for the flesh on this earth. Now the flesh that Jesus lives in is called resurrected flesh. When he came back, he told Mary, he said, don't touch me now. I'm not in my resurrected body yet. And when he got into his resurrected body, in a sense of the word, his body had been 3 days dead and was coming to the point where it's going to stink. The body, the physical body. He came as a man in a physical body. And the physical body decays and rots, but his didn't, because God preserved it. And then when he went to heaven, as God took, God took Enoch and he took Elijah. He shows a picture of, he can translate you directly to heaven without the death's door. But it is appointed unto every man to die once. So Elijah and Enoch both have to die. If they haven't died yet, come back already and stood in their place and died already, they're going to have to die one day. This flesh that they're in is going to have to die some way, shape, or form. Now let's look at some things. Light. God formed a light that man could see. The light that God is, man can't see it, but man can know it. He can know it by it is opposite from darkness. If you have had years and years of darkness in your life and the light comes into your life, you will know it. Those around you will know it. They will know that you're different than darkness. Now, illumination, or luminaries as we know it, which is light. And light is like the morning sun, the light is a luminary, and it comes in streaks, broken streaks. And that's how light is working. It's not constant like God is. God is constant light. In him there is no breaking. There is no breaking up of it. He is constant light. And the light from the radiant energy. The radiant energy, the light that you see, the northern lights, if you please, the Aurora Borealis. The northern lights. Hey, you know what one of those guys said one day? He said it could only be the light from God. It could only be God's light. That's what it is. God's in the north. God's in the... Study it. Study the north. Study the North Star. Study the north. Study the north. God's going to come from north. By the way, heaven's in the north. Heaven is in the north. And where God is in the north. There is light but not heat. There is light but not heat in God. God is light but not heat. And his light is not heat. And we would not, by the way, if we were not in these frigid bodies, these fragile bodies that we're in, heat and cool would not bother us. It would not change a thing. Look at the 4 children, the 3 children in the furnace. And the king looked in and he said, I see a 4th one in there, the Son of God. And the fire did not bother them, didn't trouble them a bit. It didn't trouble. Jesus went down in this body, this new body that he had, this body that he was resurrected body, walked through hell. The fires of hell. Took the keys from the devil. Took the sin that he took on the cross, took the sin back down. Handed it back to the devil. It said, here, this is yours. It does not belong upon the face of the earth. I'm giving you back what you put up here, and you're not going to be able to use it anymore against my people. And he took that sin back down. The retina in the eye is what receives the luminaries. The retina, without the retina, you would have total darkness in your eye. Your eye would be total darkness if your retina wasn't working. There are bodies of illumination. Jesus said, I just read it in Genesis, that he made bodies of illumination. He made the sun for the big daytime illumination. He made the moon for the nighttime illumination. He made the stars for illumination. He made the animals nocturnal, to where at night they could hunt and do what they do, and they could see each other. And they could see at night from the luminaries from the sky. If there were, you blank out all of the luminaries over a nocturnal animal, and he could not see. So if you blank all of his luminaries out, And so what we've got here is we've got to see that these luminaries are from God. All light is from God. This is Brother Peter. I must go now. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.